And now we cross live to the proceedings of the official Women's Day celebrations currently taking place in Paarl.
Give me more honor than joining hands with men and women across the country in paying tribute to the life of Mama Albertina, our icon, a gallant freedom fighter and mentor. To many women and activists, Mama Albertina worked tirelessly throughout her life to ensure that all people in our country enjoy the benefits of freedom and democracy. I am today mindful yet comforted by the fact that this day reminds us all that women have the power, the tenacity, and the courage to confront challenges of whatever nature and to overcome. This day also reminds us all that the spirit of fear will never triumph over women's determination, commitment, and dedication to attain a better life. Indeed, we as women of different races, creeds, and colors, some of us younger, united in 1956 to march to the Union buildings against the brutal apartheid regime of Verwoerd. And we did so fully aware of the possibility of detention, of torture, and much worse, even death. But it was our unity and determination to succeed that stirred the fire in us, that inspired us to face the brutal force of apartheid regime so that we could move South Africa forward. We knew then, as they do today, that the fundamental transformation of society and the conditions under which they live depended not only on men, but they too must be at the coalface of the struggle. Mama Sisulu knew this too well, and she said in 1987, and I quote, "Women are the people who are going to release us from all this oppression and depression. The rent boycotts that is happening in Soweto now is alive because of the women. It is the women who are on the street committees educating the people to stand up and protect each other." Close quotes. Mama Sisulu not only believed that women will turn their struggles into stepping stones for their liberation, she took concrete steps to help liberate women and our country. She, like us, faced the evil monstrosity that was Verwoerd. Action defined her struggle, and that is what was required in 1956 as it is in 2018 and beyond. The freedom we enjoy today is in no small way as a result of the contribution and sacrifices made by millions of women here and across the globe. So, Mr. President, I humbly stand here and in acknowledgement of the giant leaps made in history by women like Mama Sisulu, like Ellen Joseph, Ngoyi, Rahima Musa, Amma Naidu, Amina Kuchalia, Ray Alexander Simons, Fatima Muir, Winnie Madikizela Mandela, Beata Lipman, Janet Schoen, Dora Tamana, Ruth First, Gertrude Schopper, Francis Bard, and Azalinga. To mention these few, the list is long. Similarly, I stand here, Mr. President, saddened by the many struggles women face today, struggles that make our democratic promise hollow, the fruits of liberation elusive, and similarly must make Mom Albertina dismayed and sad as she says to herself, surely this is not the vision that she and many of us of her generation had for a democracy. But as much as we are happy and proud about our past heroic efforts. We need to reflect a moment about where we come from, where we are, most importantly, how to make our country and continent and the world more just, fairer, and more equitable a place for women of today. Women seek no favors. Women want what they deserve, a safe, just, and equitable society. The statistics released in a United Nations report early this year, led by our former President, Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka, are by no means complete. And it gives us a high-level picture of that tragedy that has befallen women. But how clear is this picture? Do we know how many of these 50,000 sexual offenses, for example, were prosecuted? What is the conviction rate? This is where statistics are no longer easily available. And this is where the real tragedy of the violence visited upon women lie. We know that those who got away with raping and killing women continue today and do so because they know they will get away with it. They know police do not have the capacity, nor at times the sensitivity to deal with these many violations. They know the police do not have the skill to properly investigate the cases. And they know, Mr. President, that our democracy has not infused police management with necessary will to put an end to this mayhem. This fills me with a lot of pain and sadness. We did not march against that brutal apartheid regime for our democratic government to treat perpetrators of women abuse with kid gloves. No, absolutely not. As women, we also know too well that violence has put paid to many women's dreams and aspirations. The spectre of femicide must have no place in South Africa. Yet the violence visited upon Karabo Mokoena by her boyfriend Sandile Manswe was revealed in court. Take note, Mr. President, that I did not say we are happy with the conviction. No, as women, we know too well that many other women are not as lucky to get justice as Karabo's parents. They die without a voice. Their cases made the statistics without anybody toying on their behalf. To young women of today, I urge you to stand up for your rights. I urge you to arm yourself with education and fight for those jobs and promotions in the boardroom. I urge you not to pull each other down, but to lift each other up. The terrain of struggle is now in the streets, as in the boardroom. Mama Sisulu would have wanted you to move from the street committees to board committees and to forums where important decisions are taken for the whole nation and our economy. At this stage, Program Director, I'd like to commend the thousands of women, young and old, who marched last week against gender-based violence in the name of Kanseni Maseko, who is being buried today. And so it was admirable and encouraging, Mr. President, to see you change your busy schedule so that you may receive a memorandum from women who participated in the total shutdown march of last week. Unlike the coward Minister Strydom, who ran away from meeting the 1956 women, you instead, Mr. President, ran towards women marches and listened to them. Let me also pass on a kind reminder and a word of encouragement to our Minister of Women in the presidency, the President of the ANC Women's League, Ms. Batabile Dlamini, and to all women leaders, whoever you are and whatever position you serve in, to never tire, to emulate Mama Sisulu, who knew that leadership means nothing, absolutely nothing, if those that you follow, you are not appreciated, not recognized and affirmed. You need to understand, like Mama Albertina Sisulu did, that collective leadership, taking into account the voices and the will of those that you lead, the women and the people, was the bedrock of the liberation movement. The power of the 4 women you see in the image was magnified by the 20,000 women behind them. If you do not keep sight of the will of those that you lead, that you are not truly a leader. Perhaps an autocrat, a despot, a dictator, but not a leader. Mom Albertina Sisulu also understood that the 4 women at the forefront of the march, an African and Indian, a colored, and a white woman, was no accident. It was an unambitious vision that the founding mothers of the Federation of South African Women and its liberation movement had a truly unified future South Africa, regardless of race, color, or creed. Mama Albertina Sisulu was one of the founding members of the Federation of South African Women in 1954. She was a strong believer in a truly united future South Africa, regardless of race, color, or creed. Today, we should always bear the unifying vision in mind and always seek to do what is best for women. I have a lot to say still, but there is no time. And so I want to say thank you very much, Program Director Malibongwe.